Hello and welcome to All New Marvelcast, Explosion Network's hub of all things Marvel, a place to talk about everything MCU and beyond, from Avengers and Defenders to Rosalind Sharp and Gloriana Breen. My name's Ashley Hobley, your podcast host without fear, and joining me today is the astonishing Dylan Blight.
Happy to be here talking about flashbacks.
Yes, we got a love of flashback episode.
Happy to be here talking about aspect ratios.
That too. Yes, let's dive straight in. Today we're talking about the latest episode of Daredevil. Please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about pop themes in any of the episodes. So if you haven't watched it, come back later. With that said, let's talk about Daredevil Born Again, Season 2, Episode 5, The Grand Design, directed by Angela Barnes, written by Jesse Wigutow. Dylan, what did you think of this week's episode of Daredevil Born Again?
Yeah, loved it. Thought it was great. It was probably like it really just slowed down the action and delivered a very character focused story with the flashback, not feeling like it was just done for the sake of doing a flashback to connect it to the original Netflix series, but providing I don't want to say much needed, but definitely in the scheme of things that it helped the story that was happening in the current timeline just make a lot more sense for the emotional trauma / thoughts that Daredevil and Kingpin were going through in this episode. And yeah, I mean, there was some nice little Easter egg-y stuff, like Old Mate was back. And then from the original, I can't remember the character's name now, but the original second in charge.
His name is Foggy.
No, not Foggy. Foggy's
Wesley.
back, of course, but Wesley. And then the fact Wesley meets Bucky? I swear it's like Bucky or something. The new guy. There was some fun little stuff like that. But I think everything to do with the Vanessa stuff for Kingpin, and then everything to do with Foggy sort of shaping the man, shaping him into being more of a caring person, I guess is what. Yeah. So I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I think it was cool to see that old Foggy Matt dynamic, even it was kind of predates anything we've seen so far, except the flashbacks in the Netflix series where they flash back to their days at university and stuff. Yeah, I thought it was good. My only question is, this is episode 5 of 8, and it feels like we're not even close to where we thought we would be, I guess, of this, I don't know, vigilante rebellion against the task force. We haven't Miss Jessica Jones has not been sighted at all yet.
Next
5
episode,
episodes in?
I think I saw.
This is going to be the closing arc. The events of this episode cause a divergence point, a point of no return where everything kind of goes.
I mean,
is a certain way. Yeah.
I think given this week's spoilers or whatever, where they're shooting season 3, and knowing that spoilers, everyone, the Defenders are going to come back. I think having Jessica Jones show up more towards the end of the season makes more sense if that's a lead into that.
So do you get the impression that we're not going to have a solid conclusion to this Kingpin task force arc this season? Do you think that's going to carry over to season 3? Okay.
I think at this stage it's safe to say. But also, I've been enjoying this season a lot more than the previous one. And I currently have no gripe about the fact that the storyline will be continuing because of the fact that something's happened. And that something happening is Vanessa dying. Twice. Said last week, she dead. You're like, no, she won't be.
No, she's not.
Tell me she's alive again. Tell me alive. They're going to fake it out again. They're going to fake it out again.
I would say it would be a ballsy choice to fake it out a second time.
I think you can fake it out once.
Unless she's back in a coma.
Nah, she dead.
That's the only way.
She dead, 110% dead. But
maybe she's brain dead. But then,
no, she is fucking dead. Let's just lock it in now. I said it last time I was sure. This time 110% sure that she's dead. But I think
we'll see. We'll read through the...
Hey, shut the fuck up. She is dead. Okay, Ash? Just say it with me.
We will read through the notes and we'll see.
Dead. All right. I think that happening, though, is what means that I don't really care about that we're not reaching the end of the storyline, because that is going to do such a change in Fisk and the trajectory of the storyline that we were on with the two of them as a team that it means that any chance of the storyline growing a bit stale is sort of gone for me. So I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because obviously this is always historically at his most extreme when he loses Vanessa within stories, you know. Probably the most prominent being Spider-Verse, you know. He loses his wife, so he wants to be able to go across the multiverse to find another version of his wife, you know. So all right, let's run through the plot according to no one movie source on the internet, Wikipedia. In flashbacks to their time working as interns at Landman and Zach. Zach just seems like a weird name for a law firm. But anyway, Murdoch and Nelson are assigned a criminal case involving one of Nelson's childhood neighbors, Lionel Ray McCoy, who refuses to sign a plea bargain. Nelson discovers a loophole that dismisses the charges, and he and Murdoch eventually agree to give McCoy another chance at life using funds from their own office.
I was going to say, I don't know if I'd call him a friend, but yeah.
I mean, they were friends, I guess, in the
he was
way
friends
that...
with his, he was friends with his brother or something. I think that was
it was closer to his brother Connor. So
yeah, but I mean, the storyline is basically just he's a bad guy, and Foggy does the right thing no matter what, which is the point.
I think obviously the clear tie-in is this is somebody who has wronged you in the past, and yet you want to do the right thing for them in the present, you know. So I mean, it was great to see Elden.
I can't remember his last name either, to be honest.
Elden Henson.
Okay. Good to see him. Not good to see Charlie Cox's wig, which was bad. Not a good wig.
Yeah. I didn't really pay that much attention, but I'll take your word.
I know you don't. No, don't pay attention to the wigs. No blue screens. Did you even notice the aspect ratio changes? No, you did not. That is wild to me. So it switches.
Just focus on the people.
Because it's filmed cinema ratio. The Daredevil Born Again's filmed cinema ratio. So like letterboxing.
And the flashbacks.
Right? And then the flashbacks is Netflix full scale. So when it went back to the flashbacks, because Netflix style, the screen, and the first time they did it, they did the slow, like they do in movies when they have the IMAX shots. They did the slow thing, and then it cut in between after then. Motherfucker, pay attention. What are we doing?
Trying to keep up with the story. Don't need all these visual.
It's a visual medium.
Fisk's fixer at the time, James Wesley, hires Cashman to kill McCoy, who narrowly escapes. Cashman being the new Wesley. Buck Cashman is his name.
I was close. I was Bucky close there.
Wesley arranges for an art gallery to serve as one of Fisk's fronts, leading him to meet Vanessa.
Which we saw in the original show.
We did, but we get a little bit right before they meet.
Yeah, we get right before.
Where we get to see when Vanessa sees the famous white painting for the first time, I guess, and like tries to get the curator to put it out. And then she's like, no, nobody wants that painting. Which is amusing because obviously that painting is such a thing in their relationship.
Yeah. And apparently he paid 3 times its...
Yeah. 3 times what it's worth, you know. Which makes sense because it wasn't about the painting itself, you know. Or maybe the original artist undervalued it, you know. That happens. All right. In the present, Daredevil helps the wounded Dex escape from the AVTF. Despite the latter's pleas to let him die, Daredevil is inspired by the memory of Foggy's selflessness. Takes him to his and Paige's hideout to help him recover. Wild direction to this take because I can't imagine. I can accept Daredevil and Bullseye being in the same room, but Karen and Bullseye, that seems like that's
she didn't awkward. She didn't look particularly happy.
I don't know if you watch with the subtitles on.
No, I don't, because maybe if you watched with them off, you'd see what was happening on the screen.
But when Karen saw Bullseye, it says on the bottom of the screen, reluctant sigh.
Yeah. Did look like a reluctant sigh. She ain't going to be happy, but also feel like hopefully a bit of Matt's inner goodness is rubbed off on her now, similar to Foggy's rubbing off on him.
I will say, though, I think the cut... So you've got Matt running off and being like, I can't save you. I'm going to run away.
He goes...
Then he comes back.
I I tried to save us both. I can only save one of us. Peace out, homie.
He runs out, and then there's a hard cut to him coming back all of a sudden. It's like, why did you run away? You just wasted time.
He had to go outside to have that memory.
Have that realization that
memory
this is what Foggy would have wanted.
On the jam.
You couldn't have that right before you left the room? Jeez.
I mean, you also got to, like, he has come quite a way. This is the guy who pushed him off a roof previously, so.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Which Bullseye seems really okay with.
Yeah, he was like,
I should have died.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Deserve that.
It's crazy that I'm still here. Again, his psychology is quite interesting. Like, he feels like he's put everything back into balance and one life for another life. I mean, it seems like he knows he killed Vanessa also, even though it was...
I think he's assumed he's killed her.
Yeah, even though he missed.
Yeah, but...
only because...
I mean, his whole thing is like, he's so... Like, he would have seen. I don't think he runs at normal... Like, his eyesight and awareness of what's around him is...
Unless he meant for Kingpin to destroy the thing and get a shard, you know?
Maybe. He's playing
I wouldn't put it past him, so yeah.
He's playing chess, everyone's playing checkers.
Yeah, they're bickering back and forth.
And he lets the chess speak for itself, that's right.
Yeah, he does. All right. Vanessa is placed in critical condition and undergoes surgery. After Blake leaks Vanessa's status to BB, Cashman tests his loyalty by forcing him to drive to Albany to bury Sava's body. Sava being the other crewman on the Northern Star who got killed last week. But the entire time, Daniel thinks he's going to get killed himself.
No, I thought the body would be BB when he opened the trunk, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
That would have been a turn.
That would have been wild. Also, I think, again, he's an idiot. Because I honestly do not think in any of those times where he's begging for his life and saying, I've done nothing, I do not think there's even an ounce of his brain that goes, oh, I did tell BB. That could have been it.
No, he knows. He's trying to cover his ass, you know?
I don't know.
Again, it's about protecting her, even though he's screwed him over again.
I don't think he cares that enough. Honestly, don't think he has it in him to care for her to that level. I just think he's an idiot.
No, he hugged her back way too fondly, you know? Yeah. Even though she is really playing him. I don't know if she does feel bad in that moment, which is like, I'm sorry, forget I was here, you know?
No, she just knows how to play him. Gives him a hug. That's all he needs.
It's hard to tell. We need like a full episode or like maybe a B plot about those two.
A B plot for BB?
Yeah, B plot for BB, so I can get the full dynamic. You know what I mean?
Third season.
Yeah. Well,
so
at this rate, we'll need...
Too many characters. Too much.
No, I'm Team Daniel. I think you know.
You are Team Daniel. I'm not. You're crazy.
No, he's just misguided. He's a good dude.
You're misguided.
But yeah, now he's going to be bearing bodies with Fisk.
The most he's ever looked like his father.
You know, he's getting closer to becoming
a real soprano.
A real soprano.
Out there bearing bodies in the bush.
All right. Vanessa wakes up after surgery and seems to have suffered brain damage.
Seems.
Fisk comforts her, but scares the doctor away from helping. However, Vanessa suffers a fatal seizure, leaving Fisk heartbroken. Okay, maybe.
Wikipedia is not wrong. You say number one movie and TV source. Wikipedia can't be wrong.
Yeah, I guess, you know.
Yeah, doubt me.
It could always be edited next week, but yeah, it seems like at the moment we were all of the belief she's dead.
I mean, look, the second she woke up and just was so calm, I'm like, this ain't going to go well. Like the second she wasn't like, why am I in the hospital, everything, you know, it's just like too much. And then you get to the pineapple juice thing or whatever the hell it was. I'm like, this ain't going to end well.
Yeah, just the way she was reacting to Fisk as well, and like, you definitely knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
My first reaction was, oh no, she's got like some sort of amnesia or something.
Yeah. Then she still recognized him, but she just had no cognitive understanding of, I think, what was actually happening. So you could tell there was brain damage of some sort.
Of some sort, yeah. And then tell me a story, you know, pretty heartbreaking way to go. I will shout out Vincent D'Onofrio this episode. I thought he was really fantastic. Like even at the opening where he is, you know, he's in the hospital room, you know, where he's can't do anything and is like pretty upset. Also, this episode, I know I mentioned multiple times I didn't pay attention to any visuals and stuff, but like he is constantly wearing white. Like I didn't realize until like he wore white during the boxing last week. So then like tied into the white painting, and also because he's got all the blood on it, you know, it ties into the version of the painting now. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I guess what is Fisk going to be like next week? You know, so
If Fisk is about to become a wrecking ball, is what's about to happen. You're about to see
also
fully
through all his trauma,
unchanged.
he's ordering to make sure that Daredevil and Bullseye come in alive. So
Yeah, because he wants to kill him himself.
He wants to get.
He wants to keep him like he kept her boyfriend.
Yeah. Last season.
Last season.
Hidden away in the box somewhere in the middle of the city. Anything else you want to discuss from this week's episode?
No. Very good. Best episode of the show so far.
High praise,
I would say.
All right, let us know what you thought of this week's episode of Daredevil Born Again by letting us know on social media by going to explosioninfo.com/follow. If you want to help us out at All New Marvelcast, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Podchaser, leave us 5 stars and leave 5 stars, or just tell people about the show. And if you want to help Explosion Network with all our news, reviews, and other podcasts, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Be sure to watch next week's episode of Daredevil Born Again. And join us next time for another All New Marvelcast.